Nation. So glad for day right here one more again. Happy anniversary to all the Gullah Geechee citizens. Look y'all. Hunnuh children know who this shall be. This year the Queen Quet, head from the body of the Gullah Geechee Nation. And I guess y'all will say, you'll tell we happy anniversary. It's your anniversary. Yeah, because 22 years ago, this your time of day, upon this your day, yeah, I've been done in stool as the Chieftess and head from the body of the Gullah Geechee Nation. The first time in world history, and we story, our story, that the Gullah Geechee ever come together like a this year and elect its own leader. So, first, we always do things decently and in order. So even though I ain't a poor libation upon the screen, I want all 100 children for pause, take a moment of silence with me for all of we ancestors and things. Even some of them will be dead back 22 years ago. We did upon Sullivan Island with we like this year. I beat the drum, I beat the tambourine, I showed and all that kind of thing, I tweaking tongues and all of this year. Some of them are going into the realm of our ancestors. So let we take a moment of silence for all of them. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. God, thank you for this your day. Thank you for 22 years of we coming together as one people, one nation, and things like that. One tree planted by the river that's your water. Ain't going to be moved tall. Thank you for the journey. And thank you for these your what this your day, for the state of the Gullah Geechee Nation. We say, amen, amen, and amen. So this your day, I always reflect upon Denmark, Vesey, and Gullah Jack. And all of the man would deal with them. And all the woman who been in their house and thing, through what we call Chucktown now. Would have been called Charlestown back of yonder. Because the same date where I been installed and we had drum and tambourine and all that, and soon 100 children go get for see that, because my documentary that I had ready for come out for the 20th anniversary of the Gullah Geechee Nation in 2020. Then Rona come. So I may get for travel around with them, but you see them, and so that we could have cracked we teeth that coming out this year. Y'all get for see that day where the blessing come true for all of we, that we be Gullah Geechee anointed people. And we stand proudly upon Sullivan Island together. Ain't like we never draw we in ya. With the teeth, the Igbo, Mandinka, Malinke, Yoruba, Gola, Gizi, Mendi, Temni, Fik, the baby, and all the rest of the children. Valkabulan. The Kiamne. I had them did it on Sullivan Island against it will. I stand there that day for the podium. Remember, Denmark, Vesey, and Gullah Jack, cuz I said in a chillin, they killed my brother today. Everybody be quiet. I say, hang my brother today. Everybody be quiet. Hang Denmark, Vesey, and Gullah Jack. Why? Because truly, they're in a fight for the other rest of people's freedom. Denmark, Vesey ain't been hard for doing. He been done had freedom through the lottery. Some 100 children still buy a lottery ticket but get freedom today. But it ain't gonna come that way. You have to stand for something. Gullah Jack be there down in Florida where I just been the other day. And then he run going body buttons. Somewhere along the way, they catch him. Cam Charleston, sell him in there. But he catch him too. The other one who had the heart and mind stay upon freedom. My mind and my heart, my soul, every day stayed upon freedom. Ain't about no Juneteenth. Y'all undo all that. Gullah Geechee. As we liberate, that we come together and stand upon we own right to self-determination. Human rights is what we stand for in the Gullah Geechee Nation. We've been fighting and tossing and toiling and thumping against all these cracky people who out there now that label everything Gullah Geechee for get your money. That ain't about holding upon no legacy. Ain't about fighting for land, ain't about fighting for water right, and rather was saying fighting for Hunnuh right to the tree of life. Tall, tall. Them want to be my dab over Hunnuh. Yeah, his skin look like a dish. Them need the one. Same thing will happen with Denmark West and Gullah Jack. Some of them, they look like a dish. Then the one going back to the buckroy for tell them what they been to do. And he get hanged. So now ain't time for we hang round. People who ain't how we boss interested in hard and thing like that. Because I know this year. I do this year. State of the Gullah Geechee Nation address every year. Most time I try for doing upon my anniversary, July 2nd for true. And I don't crack my teeth like I this year the whole way through because I want Hunnuh children for overstand every time I crack my teeth for. And some of Hunnuh children who ain't to do right. I want Hunnuh for overstand. So the reason that I will speak in this language that is not the primary or the mother tongue of the Gullah Geechee Nation for this Gullah Geechee State of the Nation address is because I need everyone who's watching, whether you're watching me live or you're watching the recording later on GullahGeechee.tv. GullahGeechee.tv. So if you trying to hit people up, telling them turn on Facebook Live right now and they can't, tell them later, go to GullahGeechee.tv. Follow. Go to GullahGeecheeNation.com. We'll post everything there. But it's Queen Quet, Chieftess, and head of state for the Gullah Geechee Nation. I haven't been doing this work only 22 years. I've been the queen for 22 years. This now makes my 4th term as queen that I'm entering into as of today. Every term is 7 years long. But I have now been doing this work for over 4 decades. About 4.5 is approaching. The work to have people take pride in being Gullah Geechee. But that is for Gullah Geechees to take pride in being Gullah Geechees. The Gullah Geechee Nation goes from Jacksonville, North Carolina to Jacksonville, Florida. Everyone else should take pride in supporting us, or as this new buzz phrase says, being allies with us. If you truly support our human right to self-determination, let me say straight up front, because God gave me what to say on my way here from the market, for those of you who watched the live earlier from the market. I'll give you an example. If you support a business, and I'm going to say a store, that store owner, like y'all from the country, y'all know how to talk about anything like that. The store owner house might be right next door to the little shop, as we call them, or it could be to the back in the shop to the front, because the shop or the store close to the main road to get the traffic, you know. Now, me supporting that owner means I go in there and I spend money with them and I get products from them, or I go in there and I pay them money for services. They come do a service for me, and then I continue. We go back and forth like that. At no point do I move in their house. That is not me supporting them by moving in their house. If I come to their store and I just sit on the porch of their store every day, or park my car in front of their store where other people who are paying customers come, and I'm blocking the little parking space they got, that's not me supporting them either. Now, it might be good to have conversations and engage, and fellowship is good for the soul if it's positive energy they're giving off, but that is not support. Not of a business. So I give you that God gave me as an example to share, that when you say you support the movement for Gullah Geechee human rights, Gullah Geechee land rights, Gullah Geechee water rights, it doesn't mean you need to move to the Gullah Geechee Nation to do that. Because if you move on the land, then how do we have land for the Gullah Geechee people themselves? So I just need you to think that through. You don't have to move to a place to support a movement, but you can come to that place and space and support that movement, and support it economically, spiritually, and with your expertise. Now, I founded the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, which got the movement for Gullah Geechee rights started. The Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition is 25 years old as of last December. It is older than the Gullah Geechee Nation. It is the first organization in world history and in our story to ever exist with the words Gullah Geechee together. I founded the organization and I began the movement with the appropriate way to bring us together. The name itself is to be written in a unified fashion. That's why it's GULLAH/GEECHEE. There's no I in Geechee for the we, and there's no space between Gullah and Geechee. I intentionally did not use a dash because I'm a mathematician. That looks like a minus sign. Too much had been taken away from my people as Black gold, as proudful African people in America that maintained what the anthropologists and sociologists and everyone else and the linguists say are our Africanisms. In spite of all the beatings and the brutality, not only in public schools and missionary schools, but the fights we physically had to have with folks who've been from town and things like that, and they sit in the city telling thing and say we be cracky because we be from the island. And y'all cracky tell that because y'all talk like that. This ignorance of language, this ignorance of cultural tradition, this ignorance of heritage is being continued to be perpetuated now through TikTok videos that are erroneous, from exploitation by others who read my book, The Legacy of Evil Landing, who've attended Gullah Geechee Nation events, who we actually mentored some of these people, that now they make these videos because that's the new propaganda. So they have some of you led away from the Gullah Geechee Nation and human right to self-determination. Instead, it's for entertainment, and it's for their financial exploitation of using the word Geechee in particular, but then also using Gullah space Geechee. There's only one flag in the Gullah Geechee Nation. Y'all see it on both sides of me. We be Gullah Geechee anointed people. We have one national flag. No nation has 2, 3, 5, and 6 different versions of a flag. Any other flags that y'all thought people selling them to you as flags, those are banners. And again, they're being used to make money. And during the coronavirus pandemic, which is still ongoing, but the height of it, God willing, there will be no other peaks because there are mutations, they're still out here. It made it easy to exploit. So you got online, and people figured they could use technology to manipulate you. This wasn't only going on in the United States, this is going on here in the Gullah Geechee Nation. People who grew up in places like Charleston, but if you ask them where they were really born, they were not born in the Gullah Geechee Nation. They were born outside of our western boundary, past that 35 miles inland, past that St. Johns River. And that's where their ancestry is from, which is fine. It makes them Black people. It makes them African Americans. That don't automatically make you Gullah Geechee. Everybody in South Carolina that's Black, everybody in North Carolina is Black, everybody in Georgia is Black, and everybody in Florida is Black. Don't automatically become Gullah Geechee by virtue of just being Black. We have a tradition, a heritage, a culture that we have literally fought with our lives, blood, sweat, and damn fight and thing. We've been in high school and all that kind of thing. Y'all know I the top of. Y'all know I in a story tall. So as the young people say, I feel some kind of way about people bastardizing our culture, bashing our culture, so that they can make money off of people in the Midwest and out west and in the cities who really are thirsting for true knowledge and true connection. I can tell you that when I first started this work, I felt like John in the wilderness, almost screaming, repent and return to your culture. And people were looking at me crazy like I was eating locusts, because they said, why does she want to do that? Why does she come out speaking that way that we tried to get away from? She's smart. She's straight A. She got all these scholarships. She got a computer science and math degree. She can make all this money. Why do this? I do this because God sent me to do it. My ancestors deserve me doing it. I give my life to doing it. Death threats on a regular basis, you know, all that. Where I could have just had on a nice thick sweater in a nice cold computer lab and sit there and count my money coming in. I left corporate America because there was a calling on my life. There's a song that if you've ever been in a Gullah Geechee church in your life, you probably done heard, a charge to keep I have, a God to glorify. We be Gullah Geechee anointed people, and ain't nothing but God done anoint me like a leader. For survive chattel enslavement, for survive Jim Crow, for survive this ongoing counterintelligence program operation that has been commissioned to work against our self-determination and to actually help shovel money in the direction of those who would work against those of us who are leaders of the Gullah Geechee Nation. We have the Wisdom Circle Council of Elders who were put into their positions officially 1 year after my installment on July 2nd, 2000 on Sullivan's Island. And then for years after, people were vetted, as one would say in English, to be on our Assembly of Representatives that we have through the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida. So when we discuss things, let's put them in appropriate context. The Gullah Geechee Nation is a place. It is a nation like any other nation in the world. And we all shortly it says, because Google is about to try to do some update. But I hope they're not about to do it right. Folks who say that they live in a corridor, you don't live in the corridor, you live in the Gullah Geechee Nation. And the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Corridor, that also is the one that was the lead on founding, runs through the Gullah Geechee Nation from the Cape Fear region down to St. Augustine, Florida. It's a national heritage area. But we live in a nation like other people with other cultures. And fortunately, I can say our nation is blessed. We are still not in any debt to other nations in terms of taking out any loans or anything like that. And we together, we fighting for we unity. So we need you to still continue to fight with us if you're allies, if you're supporters, but not take our culture and try to make money off it yourself. Someone recently said that there was a study now done that said that Gullah Geechee culture has a $23.5 billion with a B dollar value for the tourism industry on this coast. And they made the statement that we only need 1% as Gullah Geechees. No, we don't. We need 100%. Because if it is for Gullah Geechees, 100% belongs to all Gullah Geechees. Period, like someone just wrote in the chat. So I needed to say that to you all. And I also needed to be clear on something because this letter just came to me. I don't know if y'all can see it clearly, from South Carolina DOT. Because of a letter I wrote to help continue to fight against I-526 going through Johns and James Island and Charleston, South Kakalaki. And I want all the people who from Johns Island, James Island, please, ya, throw down in the chat, in the comment and thing like that. Who Hunnuh be? What Hunnuh call you Hunnuh self? What your ethnicity? Throw them in there. The reason I asked you to do that, and I knew I wanted to do this live, and I want my folks inside the clubhouse, y'all do the same thing for me. Because in this letter, although I wrote as a head of state for the Gullah Geechee Nation saying to protect Gullah Geechee families, businesses, our churches, and our historic and sacred sites from being harmed and damaged by road projects running through Charles James Island and Johns Island. These folks wrote me back a letter talking about African American settlement communities. African American is a catch-all for Africans in America, for black folks in general. Whether you was here since the 15 and 1600s like Gullah Geechees or you got here last month, it's a catch-all. We be Gullah Geechee. And I fought too hard to make sure Gullah Geechees are represented and respected as a unique ethnic group that's not backwards nor ignorant, and that has a right not only to the tree of life, but to our own self-determination. And we determined what we would be called. So it is disrespectful to then take a letter from me, address it back to me as Chieftess of the Gullah Geechee Nation, send it to the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, give me a whole page that tells me all of the laws about the, how the government can't discriminate and yada, yada, yada. But then call the Gullah Geechee family compounds in Charleston African American settlement communities and neighborhoods that they previously identified in a 2010 survey of theirs, and then say that what they are going to do, and I want to read this, so pray God that Google do not shut down to do no update at the moment. Additional research and efforts to preserve and celebrate these communities are important and valuable. Now, y'all know what I would like to say to that, right? Like, I don't know. Okay, but I'm going to say that way. All right. SCDOT has initiated a study of historical African American settlement communities on James and Johns Island that are within the boundaries of the Mark Clark Extension Project. You mean you're doing this within the Gullah Geechee Nation and you're going to study Gullah Geechees but just label us African American and then do what you do everywhere else to communities you consider previously called black? That's how that reads to me. Using National Park Service standards for historic resource studies, this study will research and compile illustrated historic context, producing GIS mapping, and use oral history to narrate the stories of each of these communities on James and Johns Island. I'm not going to say nothing, but except to say I have worked with the National Park Service for a couple of decades. I know how they operate. And this is now a buzz phrase about black communities all over the South being called African American settlement communities. So there's something the government of the United States wants to do in that regard, but documenting us doesn't protect us. It just means that we can be museumized, we can be mapped. That's what GIS is for. I taught a geography course and I'll be teaching it again at University of Minnesota. So that's what that's about, y'all, if y'all didn't understand what this is saying. Because this is, some techno speak, government techno speak. The intent of this effort is to gain a better understanding of these communities and their families, their histories, and their geography through oral history and archival research. The additional study will record the community voices, preserve them for the future. Preserve, see, put you in the jar, put you on the shelf, and when you take that lid off, the life is out. Because you expel what's in the jar. That's that word preserve again. That's why I talk about cultural continuation, not cultural preservation. But this is what the National Park Service does, and this is what the U.S. government does. Preserve them for the future and make them heard in the present. You ain't hearing me now. I wrote you a letter on behalf of the Gullah Geechee Nation and Gullah Geechee family compounds, not a letter based on African American settlement communities, as they are calling them, because there is a distinction. So here it is. The result of the additional study will serve as a cultural atlas or a touchstone document from which potential further work based on communities' desires can be generated. So as my community, natives of the Gullah Geechee Nation, citizens of the Gullah Geechee Nation, I desire that you all stay tuned. Make sure you follow GullahGeecheeNation.com, GullahGeecheeNation.com. Follow the Gullah Geechee Nation Facebook fan page. Any of you are viewing this from now. Subscribe to GullahGeechee.tv. Gullahgeechee. Ain't a no I ain't Geechee for the we. Follow at Gullah Geechee on Twitter, at Gullah Geechee on Instagram, and at Gullah Geechee Nation. Make sure that you join the Gullah Geechee Clubhouse as well, because we going to have plenty more family compound meeting with this thing to ensure that our community voices are heard, that we do not want any highway projects displacing the same communities, these same settlements that they're calling them, after you document them. You document them so they go in your archives and they become part of your museums. And then nothing is left that remains that allows Gullah Geechee families to build or sustain multi-generational wealth. Because now, because it'll be federal property, it'll be state property, it can be given away, especially to universities. There's a university here on the Carolina coast named after a man that me and him worked together. He considered me a friend, and he was a true ally. They named the Gullah Geechee Center after him, and he's an Anglo man. That Gullah Geechees don't have a right to speak for ourselves and be who we be. So come back in, y'all. So another rest of the I just say, they'll try march on back to the plantation and think, Alpha, take your picture and Alpha, get your voice and things like that, because he need you no more. Because once your archival material, once your GIS mapped, you can make money off that for decades to come. Look at all these pictures of our ancestors that people have in their libraries, in their archives, and in their exhibitions, and they never talk to us about them. And they make money off them every day. I love IAM, the International African American Museum, because I am one of the initial steering committee members that visioned that institution. But have I been asked to come in since it's $1 million? Have I been asked to come there and consult and contribute to that? No, I have not. When I went to the National Museum of African American History and Culture, many of you know on Gullah Geechee TV, I did a video to show you what's Gullah Geechee in there, because our names were erased. What is that reminiscent of but slavery? You have no right to take our name away. You have no right to call us BIPOC. We didn't vote on that. You have no right to just call us this catchphrase, African American. We be Gullah Geechee anointed people. So if you're dealing with the Sea Islands, and you're dealing with the legacy of people of African descent, black gold people along this coastline, from Jacksonville to Jacksonville and inland to the St. Johns River, at any point in time from the 1500s forward to today, Hunnuh should have yeddi from we. The Gullah Geechee Nation stood and got their own leadership, trying to give black people their leaders. Meanwhile, these are people that are paid to take care of themselves, not take care of all of we. People often ask me, do you get a salary as a queen? No, I do not. And I do it every day. 365, 366. I wake up every day, pray to God first, meditate then to hear from God next, and then I set out to see how my people are out here. So the state of the Gullah Geechee Nation is such that others see our value, and they intend to make them billions that I told you about with a B off of we. That sound like the plantation to me. And I am not going back into slavery. Whether you are black, you are Asian, you are Anglo, you are white, whatever term you use for yourself. You are biracial, other indigenous peoples of the world, other islanders around the world, and things, because you know we know say when I'm going through the same thing, the maroon, and we all fighting for the same thing around the world. land, water, health, our human rights. So there's the 20 preachers that sat in Savannah, Georgia, back during the Civil War, told William to come see Sherman. Yes, this is that same area where the 40 acres and a mule was to be designated, from Charleston and all the abandoned rice fields southward to Fernandina. That's in Florida. It's the same area. And inland 35 miles to the St. Johns River was to be issued to the Negroes. They came and they sat with them 20 preachers in Savannah and said, when Lincoln signs this paper, talk to them about what they feel that meant and what would they want. And they said, give us our land and leave us be. If you watch Reconstruction, the Second Civil War, not the one with Gates, the one before that, that PBS did, I'm in it. Okay, you might not recognize me, but I'm in it, playing our ancestors with others, native Gullah Geechees. Dr. Teray is in it, the one-man NAACP that you often see. We played our ancestors proudly. And that's the only time in life I might have wished, but I did play a man in that too. Y'all might not notice in one of the scenes. But that's the only time I wanted to do that, because I wish I could have played the role of one of them preachers to tell them, give us our land and leave us be. So if you want to know how to support, we have the Gullah Geechee Land and Legacy Fund. It's on GoFundMe. Cash App to it is $ Gullah Geechee Nation. And we have the Gullah Geechee Angel Network.com. Gullah Geechee Angel Network.com. That is the official nonprofit of the Gullah Geechee Nation, if you must get a tax write-off for your support. But then we do our work truly through grassroots effort. And we are thankful to the International Human Rights Association for American Minorities and the late Dr. Yusuf N. Clyde, God bless the dead, who been Gullah Geechee on self, who fought hard as a lawyer through the civil rights movement and could tell us what mistakes not to make. And our stand for our human right to self-determination. And I was blessed that he lived to see us get as far as we did, with recognition through the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Act being signed into law by the U.S. federal government, by the President of the United States. It was not an executive order, it was a congressional act. And he could not believe we could accomplish that, but we got a nation, you got a flag. Wham! Proudly. We and thing like that, fall we and thing like that. Where would we be now? We in there. We be free on a think free, on a be free. This ain't no play thing. You're dealing with issues here politically and environmentally. For hope on the land. Take a stand and hope on the land. Now, I want to make sure all 100 children from Johnson, James Island, make sure you let me know who you be. Drop them in the chat, drop them in the comments. Then I can, when I write the letter back to DOT, I can say, this is who my people say they be. Don't just throw we in so that you can blend we back into an American melting pot and try to take out the flavor of we culture. And then after that, you interpret us when you've eliminated us, when you've annihilated the culture, when you have blended so much of European culture into it that it's undistinguishable from anything else, when it's no longer people giving you titles that's not your name. I used to call elders boy and gal and auntie and uncle as a way to dismiss calling them sir and ma'am, Mr. and Mrs. in their name. Someone just did it the other day. An Anglo woman looked at a picture, and I'm saying, who's that? She said, that's aunt. Somebody said, that ain't your aunt, and that ain't that person in that picture, aunt, right there next to her, neither. I asked, what is her name? Because that auntie, uncle, boy, gal thing should have been over. But if we allow this, what's easing in, that some of us are blending in like that, then there won't just be assimilation, there'll be annihilation through exploitation, genocide. Between no minus, no space. Keep we together. Work together, children. Don't you get weary. Great camp meeting in this your promised land. And I just tell on the children. This your Gullah Geechee Nation that we promised land for true. People come here from the motherland, they say they find home. They come here from the Caribbean, they find home. They come from Guyana, they find home. But at least they say they find home. The Muskogee, they look for home. The Black Seminole, look for home. The Maroon, look for home. All of we go eat. You know, bush over that brush over and things like that. We can get it, beat we drum, and crack we teeth. Stone rebellion starting again. If it ever be done. As far as I concerned, it ain't been never done. We have to work together, we have to stand together, and he ain't care if what the rest of the people look like we, they ain't make them we. It's a critical time in we story, in world history. Now, as Heavy D would say, I got nothing but love for you, baby. I appreciate the respect. I appreciate the support. I appreciate you taking your expertise, your dollars, your dimes, contributing to help us protect this coastline from sea level rise, helping us to empower the community about these issues of climate change dynamics, helping us to work to shore up the shoreline so it'll be here for another generations of Gullah Geechees. This is the work I do daily. People ask, what do you do as a queen? I tell them, it's easier to tell you what I don't do than to tell you all that I do. But for me, it's like Al Green says, it's all in a day's work. So even though this is my anniversary and I would have loved to just have a party, a celebration, I knew I had to do. Now you all are welcome to come and celebrate with us, because Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week is when I'll celebrate my anniversary with all the Hunnuh children that are coming home to St. Helena Island, Saturday, July 30th, this month at noon at St. Helena Park on Ballpark Road on St. Helena Island. That is where the celebration will be. And we will launch Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week on that day, and it will continue through to August 6th, where we will culminate in Bluffton at the Bluffton Oyster Factory at noon on that day, all right here in South Kakalaki in the Gullah Geechee Nation. We going to beat the drum together. We going to shout together. And what? We going to stand together. But we want self-determination. But we land rights, we economic rights, we water rights, and for we ancestors that toiled, whose blood, sweat, tears, and bones is in this soil. We will not put them back on the auction block. So for someone to say that others have studied us and intend to make, they don't do them studies for nothing, intend to make $23.5 billion off of Gullah Geechee by exploiting it to make it tourism dollars to come in, that's inappropriate. The money that comes in should come to Gullah Geechee families, because that's rightfully where it belongs. And anyone of righteousness would do that, but we ain't dealing with righteousness. We are definitely dealing with spiritual wickedness in high and low places. And truthfully, if you look at the history of America, it's built on the exploitation of black gold. So folks ain't gonna just stop that now. And some of us are telling them it's okay. It's not okay. So when you see us start to launch off into Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week, again, follow GullahGeecheeNation.com, Gullah Geechee Nation Facebook fan page, at Gullah Geechee on Twitter, at Gullah Geechee on Instagram, and Gullah Geechee Nation on TikTok, and the Gullah Geechee Clubhouse on Clubhouse. You will only hear us presenting to you businesses that are 100% Gullah Geechee owned, organizations that are 100% Gullah Geechee, not ones that have board members and groups of people who are not Gullah Geechee blended in, so that you can get the facts straight when you say, I want to support. The economic aspect comes back to we, for we hold upon we land, for we hold upon we culture and things like that. And the nation, as we've always said, can rise no higher than its women. So sisters, mothers, raise upon herself. Carry yourself around your waist, decency, respect and things like that. Don't just say put respect on your name. Have respect for herself and for one another. That only is we. The children could do the same thing. And the brothers them could do them. But for all of we who be Gullah Geechee, if we don't respect we, who going to respect we? Don't respect other rest of people for respect we in the black community if we don't respect we first. So don't support and follow others who are exploiting our name. Don't go to their stuff and buy stuff from them and say, oh, it's just okay because we just want to do this. Humble yourself, sit down, learn, tarry a little while with the elders, and let me show you something. Because there are those that have worked against every successful black movement that ever existed on North American soil and don't think they stopped. Counterintelligence program, go study it. COINTEL Pro, go study it. In fact, y'all like Netflix, go watch Jesus and the Black Messiah. What is it called? The Black Messiah. Y'all go watch Judas and the Black Messiah. Go watch that one, Judas and the Black Messiah, and then go and read. That's not just a movie, but that's what people are doing now, is doing things through films because you won't read. Doing things through films because it's easier to sit home in the air conditioning than to be outside sweating to come out. But it's going to take sweat equity. That's your investment. That is as valuable as the cash money. It takes spiritual investment. It takes intellectual investment to hold upon a culture when everything is coming against it to say, get rid of it or give it to we. And let us document you and archive you and put you in our museum display. That how about say Gullah Geechee? What the song says, say my name, Gullah Geechee. I am proudly Gullah Geechee. There's no shame in who we be. I am proud to be Black Gold, Gullah Geechee anointed, with a standing legacy in this soil that some call the United States, that also is part of the Gullah Geechee Nation, and we have dual citizenship in both. So vote in the American elections, yes, but know that you also have leadership in the Gullah Geechee Nation. So I would have loved to come on here and just smile and laugh and sing and have a good time. I would have loved to not come on here at all and do that. Get my dance on. so I can go ahead and get back in the real groove of through the device you think is a cell phone, and it's actually a personal digital assistant, a PDA. That's what we used to call it before it came out, or as he would say back in the day. It's a cellular device now. It tells you, you think you're telling it where you're going, it's telling you you already there. There's a lot of information you feed into it, and that's data mined out and sold. So people are now trying to mine black gold again to sell it themselves. Some of them that know they ain't a none of we. But if they can make a dollar off it, they'll say they part of who we be without sweating one time, without fighting one time. So I'm saying to you, the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition was the first organization in the world to exist with the words Gullah Geechee in the name. No one else had it. Next was the Collie Town Gullah Geechee people. Is a nation. I am the head of state for that nation. We have a Wisdom Circle Council of Elders, which is essentially my cabinet. We have the Assembly of Representatives. We represent all the Hunnuh children, wherever Hunnuh be, and the rest are the head from the body. Just the head. You have to have the rest of your body functioning, and that all the Hunnuh children will be Gullah Geechee. So, please ya, we out ya. We been ya. And I pray we not going away. So, if it ain't about just me there upon this your course, I plan for be ya. But don't let all the rest of cracky people right up thing and take away what belongs to we. We ancestors and we elders deserve more than that from all of we. So bring in all the expertise and thing home ya from wherever Hunnuh be. And join we for Gullah Geechee Family Day, July 30th, noon, St. Helena Park, on Ballpark Road, on historic St. Helena Island, right here in South Kakalaki in the Gullah Geechee Nation. Then stay through the week and join we in Bluffton, South Kakalaki for close them out at the Oyster Factory. Noon on Saturday, August the 6th. And right there, Hunnuh go a yeddi more for who we be, what we to work on, and plenty of we U.S. federal partners go there with we. For sure, Hunnuh to work what we to do for hold upon the land and work against this your thing called climate change. So that this your land can stay here and we can have some food security. So that we can have the strength in we body for fight against all what coming against we. Cause thing coming in like wave like the tide. Oh, but God be for we. And if God be for we, who can be against we? We be who we be. And we be Gullah Geechee, anointed people. Glass, because I want to see in Clubhouse if any of the people did upon you from Jones or James Island and what they see upon you. But I could share some of what I see. I see one person say from James and Jones Island and thing like that. So if you're from James or Jones Island, what do you call yourself? Hunnuh Gullah Geechee? Or will you be? You be something else? And right here. Okay, Leaky, that Leaky. Leaky say AJ out there from Jones Island. Yeah, and she said she the one with cracky. Yeah, they done cracky right and out in the street. They were true, but we the crack we teeth. But look, tell me, Leaky, and anybody else with there on there from Jones or James Island, what wanna be? You a Gullah Geechee? or y'all the African American in a settlement? I want to know, because I want to share that thing with the people so they can stop say, oh, just Queen Quet say a certain thing, because there's no such a thing. I see where y'all tell me for go back and let these people know. So I appreciate y'all for all of this in the clubhouse, people that say peace to me and greetings to all of y'all. And y'all wish me happy anniversary. Thank you, y'all. And all of this year. And surely, yes. And so, okay, yeah, somebody say, yeah, brother say, Queen say, I even say, go local and keep them local. I like that too. That's true. So in other words, we got them in the house, keep them in the house. And thank you for all the folks inside the clubhouse who say they got much love for the Gullah Geechee Nation. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the peace. Thank you for the blessing. Since I did upon the computer, I didn't see all of what y'all put in the chat on the live on Facebook. Because when I send them back, I could send the documentation to SCDOT. But what I to talk about? Because they asked me for please stay involved in this show. And I am. Because I've been in them for over a decade trying to do NICS 526, meaning stop the 526 from being extended and displacing any Gullah Geechees. And what they're trying to say is they ain't gonna do that now because they gonna study them and then they gonna try to avoid them. But that ain't true. They know where Rosewood been. They know where Black Wall Street been. They know what Wilmington been. The documentation did it. They've been North Sea. This is where the settlements been for all of we who had independence. And yet they bombed them. They burned them down because they did not want black people to display self-sufficiency before other black people and to encourage it, because then there's no dependency. You can't be self-sufficient and dependent. They are mutually exclusive. So if you have self-sufficiency in your own community, you have your own land, you have your own businesses, you have an economy, you won't be so dependent on theirs. So that's the trick. That's the game. Get you to think that land is not valuable for you to lease it and hold on to for multiple generations, but that is how everybody else builds multi-generational wealth. Why do you think they buy land? So why would you be an heir to it and give it away? Why would you be the heir to an anointing and a shine like the black oil got and give it away? As others wish he had them. And far as the anointing go, if one of the children ain't want your anointing and they ain't want your blessing, inbox me, I'll take them. Inbox me on this one. Go to queenquet.com, in fact, and email me and tell me you ain't want your anointing and you ain't want your blessing, and that you to pray for God give unto me. If it truly a blessing and it truly anointing, I want them. And I could keep my shine. I could keep my richness. The black gold Gullah Geechee richness. That anointed and blessed by God. The word Gullah mean people blessed by God. So blessed Gullah Geechee family. We pray every day for we. For more unity amongst we. And for we no follow no foolishness with people who gossip and backbite and do all kind of evil things against one another. We need one another. I the Hunnuh to me. Ubuntu. If Hunnuh will go fast, Hunnuh go by Hunnuh own self. But if Hunnuh won't go a long distance, go together. And it's a long distance thing. It's a marathon we running. In an O'Leary race. You know we sing that song. Lord, guide my feet while I run this race. I want all with land rights, with water rights, with food security, with economic empowerment, with health, strength, and peace of mind, right here where we be. And this shall bless up Gullah Geechee Nation. Shouting Oh no, don't turn back. Hunnuh make the leader shame. And since this your day, I the leader. Do like Eric Bean Rock him, yeah? Please, yeah. Follow the leader. Because I just do what them children vote for me for do. And a story to you. To try to make sure that Hunnuh go I dare you, even when I did in the realm of the ancestors. It's a blessed land upon the sea. And truly, we be Gullah Geechee, anointed people, a think free, Hunnuh be free. That we legacy. Thank you. Gullah Dr. Buzzard land me that. So, you see that tree, Yona? Either side today, either side, right here. Oh, right there, right there, right there, right there. In the middle of a tree, that a we Gullah Geechee family tree, human bodies inextricably tied together, make up that tree. Planted into this your soil. We shall be a tree planted by the rivers of water. We shall not be moved. That is the state of the Gullah Geechee Nation. July 2nd, 2022. All I can say to you is I going to keep on doing what I do. And to all the Hunnuh children, what a stand for me, and I ain't did it, stand with we who be Gullah Geechee, and support we in this your journey. Thank you, thank you. God bless all the Hunnuh children, and bless the global Gullah Geechee diaspora family. I pray say some more shine on that black gold after the day. And God bless you wherever Hunnuh be. Enjoy the weekend. I can enjoy the month, because I can. Oh yeah, because I know plenty Hunnuh children know what we done gone through, and we be there from. But if Hunnuh ain't know where Hunnuh there from, then Hunnuh ain't going to know where Hunnuh to go. You ain't have to be we, but take your own journey. Learn who Hunnuh people be, because you're part of a rich legacy if you want to mother Alkebulan children, you see. If you be part of the African diaspora, you have your own vibranium. Hold to it. Don't let them teeth them. Stay and stand strong. Blacksmithing was about metal being shaped and iron sharpen iron. That's why I want you to bring that heat and that iron for Gullah Geechee Family Day, July 30th, 2022. This year now, this month, at noon, meet me for Gullah Geechee Family Day upon historic St. Helena Island at the St. Helena Park, ballpark. They're probably on this side for y'all screen. For y'all to click on and get your passes. Get them now. And then, if you can't stay true, we could be doing stuff online too, throughout that whole Gullah Geechee Nation Appreciation Week. And we had a culminating celebration Saturday, August the 6th, 2022, at the Bluffton Oyster Factory, Bluffton, South Kakalaki. 12 o'clock, be there at both places, noon. Because that when we could do we drumming, we could have we libation, and it should be a shouting good time for honor their ancestors, Ashe, 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 and to bring back the family like it's supposed to be, one circle, united, and chillin'. That why I fight for every day. This year the Queen Quet, head upon the body of the Gullah Geechee Nation. I thank God this year day for this shall be in my fourth term going into, and for 22 years as Hunnuh Queen. Thank you to all who been vote for me, and all who been standing up for me ever since, and standing with me, wherever you be. May God bless you on Hunnuh journey. Y'all, peace, blessing, and love to all the family, wherever you be. We look forward to you celebrating who we be, and that we be Gullah Geechee, anointed people. This is the state of the Gullah Geechee.